What is going on, guys? Hunter here with Technical Gaming, and in this video we're going to be talking about the new free-to-play battle royale style game called Fortnite. So if you haven't heard of this game yet, then definitely stay tuned because I'm going to be talking all about it in this video and giving you guys my opinions on it. But yeah, basically this is the new free-to-play battle royale style of game. It's very similar to PUBG, and there's actually a little bit of controversy of PUBG or some of the developers at PUBG calling out Epic on creating this game because it was so similar, but I'm not going to be talking about any of that because it really doesn't matter. However, I will say that if you play PUBG and you like that game, then I would definitely recommend giving this game a try. It's free to play, so you really don't have anything to lose. And it's very fun. You're probably going to end up liking it just as much as you like PUBG, if not even more, because that's how I personally feel about this game. I'm really loving it right now. So why am I enjoying this game so much? Well, I think I finally figured out a few of the reasons why it's substantially better, at least in my opinions. Now, if you're a big, PlayerUnknown's fan, then, don't hate on me. I do like PUBG. I'm not a complete hater on PUBG. I think that's a good game as well, but I just think that this game is a little bit better, and that's my personal opinion. But why is that? So one of the main reasons is because I don't feel like there's so much sitting around and waiting. And yes, you do have that in this game, especially, if you end up around the middle of the circle, then you can just sit around and wait pretty much the entire game. However, you have a lot more stuff that you can do in this game. For example, you can actually construct buildings and stuff in this game. So they have a really awesome and intuitive way of like building walls and different structures, and you just kind of creating your own custom base, and I think it's really fun. Now, they actually do have a single player game mode that costs money. I've never played that. I've heard it's not the best, but I'm not really too sure about it. But I have heard really good things about the building system, and that's kind of what the entire single player is about. And they've incorporated it into the battle royale style game mode, and it just works really well. And I think that's one of the main things that I love so much about this game, is that whenever you're in the middle, you can just put up a base and you can camp out there in your own base. You can keep adding to it. You can do whatever. You can just, keep an eye around your area and make sure that you're safe. And I think that's one of the major factors that makes me like this game so much. And having this building system in the game takes away from time that you're just kind of sitting there watching out and, kind of getting bored with the game just sitting there, because you can be building your base and stuff like that. So it takes away from, all the just sitting around and waiting time. Now, in order to build these structures, you of course have to have materials. So you don't just get an unlimited amount of materials to build whatever you want with. So for example, if you break a tree down with your pickaxe, and everybody starts the game with this giant looking pickaxe thing, it's really cool, but basically you can just go away, start chopping down a tree, and if you chop down a tree, then you're going to get wood, and with that you can build a wooden structure. Now, if you go break like a car, for example, then you're going to get steel, so you can create steel structures, and you can mix and match all these different types of materials into your structures. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to, be uniform or anything. And there's also brick, and I believe those are the only 3 building materials in the game, at least of right now. So it works out really well, and again, with going and tearing down all of these things, it takes away from the time where you're just sitting there doing nothing, waiting on people to come around you or something like that, and again, it just takes away from the time that you're sitting there being bored. Another thing that I really like that they did in this game is they've added weapon variants. So say if you get a scar, you can also get like a green scar or a blue scar or a purple or a yellowish, like orange type scar. I'm not exactly sure what names are for each variant, but I know there's like legendary and epic and that sort of thing. So even if you get a weapon like the scar, and you think that you're completely set, you can still find more loot that's even better than that. You can still find a scar that's even better than the scar that you have now, which keeps continuing to keep the loot system interesting. So whenever you find that scar, you still have a motive to keep looting to maybe find an even better scar. And that's one thing that I really find interesting and that I really like about this game. So I should have done this at the beginning, but since I didn't, I'll go ahead and kind of explain how the game works. I'm guessing that most of you can probably already guess how it works, or most of you already know how it works, but basically there's 100 people dropped onto a map. You glide down or parachute down or whatever, and you'll just start trying to loot, and basically the last man alive wins, or the last team alive if you're playing squads. So yeah, that's basically how this game works. It's very simple. It's a battle royale style game mode. You also have this circle that you have to stay in, and if you're not in it, then you'll start to lose health and eventually die. So eventually all players will come across each other, and everybody will eventually die except for the one last remaining player who's the winner. So obviously very simple, not very hard concept to grasp, and of course very similar to PUBG. So now that I've talked about how the game works and a lot of the features that I like about it, let's talk about some of the negatives about it. So one of the main negatives is the gunplay, and if you're watching this video and you're watching how the gunplay looks and you're thinking, wow, that looks kind of crappy, it's really not that bad whenever you play it, but the problem is it gets extremely difficult, especially if you're at anything close to a medium to long range distance. Then it is going to be very, very difficult to hit your target, especially if you don't have a sniper rifle. Now, even if you have a sniper rifle, they're not easy to use at all. There's a ton of bullet drop, the bullets don't travel very fast, and there's a lot of recoil. So I don't know. I think altogether it just makes for kind of a not very satisfying gunplay experience. And it's not to say that the gunplay is terrible, because, as I said, it doesn't really feel bad necessarily. It's just really, really hard. And a lot of times I just feel like it's too hard. And I think that's going to turn a lot of new players away from the game. And I don't necessarily think that's a great thing. But if you play the game, let me know how you feel about this, because I think a lot of people are going to be with me here, especially if you played the game. If you haven't played the game, you probably don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but the gunplay just feels a little bit weird, a little bit janky, and I hope that they can work with it a little bit just to make the guns feel a little bit more accurate, so those longer ranges or those long range gunfights are actually a little bit more fun and satisfying. Now, that's definitely the biggest problem that I have with the game at the moment. I do have a few other kind of negative things to say about the game, but a lot of these that I'm about to mention are things that are just kind of associated with this game being an early access game. It doesn't have a lot of the features that it will eventually. So a lot of these things that I'm going to mention are probably going to be added into the game at some point. But I do want to mention them, just to be fair. So one of those issues is that there's only solos and squads right now. So solo, of course, meaning you're playing the game by yourself and you're playing against other people that are by themselves. But in squads, you're going to be going against 4-man teams, and even if it's just you and one of your buddies or something, and both of you go into a game, you may get you can choose to have your team filled and have 2 other people on your team. But that doesn't really matter, because a lot of those people are not actually going to play with you, especially right now since there's no in-game party chat type system. You can't communicate with your team anyway, so basically it means that you're going to be going into the game with only 2 of you against a lot of other teams that have 4-man squads, and it's almost impossible to win if you're going 2v4 unless you're just really good or if you get really lucky. So that's one of the annoying things. I do believe that they're supposed to be adding duos, which will mean that you'll have 2-man teams, hopefully within the next few weeks. So I'm really excited for that, and I hope that that does get added and implemented correctly. Another big thing is something I just touched on a second ago, which there's no in-game party or chat system. So you can't talk to anyone, even if you get a team of 4 guys that are just kind of random people, and so basically if it's just you and 3 other guys, you can't talk to them in any way. I don't even think there's any way to type chat to them. So that's really annoying. I haven't heard anything about them adding that into the game soon, so I'm really hoping that they will, because that's a really important feature that's missing, and it's something that can really kind of ruin the experience. Now, for the last big negative thing, and this is not necessarily big for some people, but for others it will be, and that is that there's no character customization as of right now. And again, this is something I haven't really heard them talk much about yet, say anything that they're going to be adding this soon. So I hope that they do add this pretty soon, because it's a feature that I really like to see. I don't want to just be some random character every single time. I think that kind of gets a little boring, and whenever you're playing a game like this, you want to have your own customizable character that you can make it look how you want, and have whatever features you want. So hopefully they will add character customization in pretty soon. So overall, I really do like the game. It's got its flaws. I think a lot of the stuff that I'm kind of hating on right now is going to be fixed in the pretty near future, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see where the development of this game goes, and we'll just have to wait and see how good it turns out. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, and if you found it helpful, then leave a like, and also leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys think of this game if you have played it. Do you think it's absolute shit, or do you think it's really good? You know, just let me know. Also, if any of you guys are playing this game on PC and you would like for me to play with you, then you can maybe hit me up down in the comment section, and maybe we can get together sometime and actually play it. I will leave a link in the description of where you can download the game, because it is a free-to-play game, and I'm not trying to like advertise it or anything, but it is free-to-play, and I definitely recommend checking it out because it's so fun, and I think a lot of you guys would enjoy it. So I'll leave that link down there if you're interested, but that's about it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.